time, showed no effort, posted the abandonment notice on his door, discovered he had a dog in his apartment with no utilities on, in a cage, covered up with blanket. I made phone calls to Tina. Tina contacted the owners. They finally come down there. We finally got rid of them. But Missouri state statute, everything, and I didn't got one of the copies with me tonight, but I brought up the police station, showed it to the officer, showed him the date that it was posted on the door, so I take pictures of it, and it still was an issue with getting this guy out, and it shouldn't be. I just think our officers need more training when it comes to tenants and landlords.
Well, sir, for the sake of getting into a lot of discussion, details on it, have you spoke with the chief yet about this?
I spoke with the assistant chief.
Okay. Would you care to discuss it with the chief about your complaints about the noise violations and not getting any help with that? And maybe you two can find out what we're doing wrong, if we're doing anything wrong to eliminate that problem.
Well, no fault to the police department. I mean, I'm not faulting them at all. But I think that is where we don't have enough officers on duty, and they're trying to handle everything, and they don't have enough people to get over there in time to say, hey.
We're working to eliminate that problem. We have 3 new
Yeah,
cars.
like I said, no fault to the police department, because these guys are doing all they can
Okay,
do.
I kind of took it that it is, you got
No.
getting help, so that's why I wanted you to straighten out the chief.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you would, chief, I think he'd be more than happy to talk to you, discuss with you about the tenant.
Another thing that I've discussed with the sheriff's department was, and they informed me that in the state of Missouri, that squatters do not have rights in the state of Missouri. There's some states that they do. Am I correct with that? Okay. With that being said, I started managing the, Mark, what's that little trailer park called?
Darnell's.
Darnell's trailer park out there. I discovered we got a trailer out there that people just, the last time I was in it, didn't even have a breaker box in it. So they went in there, done repairs, got utilities turned on, moved in. It was my understanding from the owner that he had took the previous tenant to court and gained possession of the trailer. So I went up to City Light Gas and Water to find out how did they get utilities turned on. Because I know, over here on Bradley Street, they gotta have a receipt, name, full address, everything. So they tell me about this girl that wrote them out a receipt. And I told them, I said, that's false documentation. That girl's never been a manager out there. So 2 hours later, she called me back to find out that we still have to take them people to court just to get their utilities turned off.
Okay.
But they need some training on this when it comes to tenants and people renting.
Well, if you don't care, speak with chief about it and see if there's training we can do on it. Sure, he would entertain it.
I know Tim Hollow was telling me that once upon a time that there used to be somebody that came in once a year and would touch base with the police department on the do's and don'ts as far as this goes. But he said that's been long gone past. Nobody's kept up with it.
Okay. Well, like I said, if you don't care,
Okay.
have a conversation with the chief.
I got a question for you. Darnell, is that in the county or is it in the city?
No, it's in the city.
Is it? I was thinking it was in the county.
No.
One time it was. I think it got annexed in several years ago.
It's just past Baker Mills. Baker Mills trailer park is. Just go past that. There's like one property in between Baker Mills and that.
And the car lot used to be right next to.
I understood that if they were squatters, that was criminal trespass, different from having to do an eviction.
That's a whole lot different.
Okay. Squatters are a whole lot different than, yeah. So you don't have to go to court for that?
Not for squatter, not for actual squatters, now, they,
Well, as far as I'm concerned, they never filled out no documentation with us. They have,
okay, then, I mean, you're getting into a matter of proof and what, but if they're actual squatters, no, they don't have rights. If they're just people who have rented at one time and haven't paid, then there are tenants' rights.
see, that's the thing, they've never paid.
Well, I understand that, what you're saying is that if they moved in with false documentation.
Yes, sir, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it,
Yes,
then that does make them squatters. They entered illegally,
right.
you know, whereas in the tenant situation where they just haven't paid, they entered legally, but they may be overstaying
Yeah.
the legal tenancy, but that's two completely different things. But what you
And as far as the $50 fee for the inspections, when does that go into effect?
January 1.
January 1. Okay. You know, I've been talking with Tim Howell thinks it's a good thing. You know, that way, because a lot of our apartments, you wouldn't believe the stuff we have to go back to do to them, to get them back going. So we really like this. Maybe we can weed out some riffraff.
It'll help a lot of that stuff, the new property inspection thing, and then they won't be able to get the car hooked up, a lot of things.
Right.
It'll help the people in the real business.
Right.
Over time, it take time though.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else?
May I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Just for curiosity about the squatter
Would
situation.
you please state your name and address for the record, please?
Peggy McMillan, 2012 Ely Street. So if the squatter's not legally, not supposed to be there, can the police department, once you prove that they are squatters, can the police department remove them? I mean,
That's
who
a good
removes
question.
them?
Yeah, but I mean, you got, it's,
Depends on the situation.
That's
If
what I'm
they set
saying.
up registry and they've got utilities turned on in their name, I think we're gonna have to get a judge involved before we can actually
Yeah.
go over and force them
Yes.
out of the house.
But like,
Yes,
some
I
of
think-
them just
I think
goes
you-
in,
I would think you'd be wise to get a warrant. And
right,
We'll have to go through the process.
right. But if they're not, just say they're in your building and they're just,
Trespassing.
yeah, trespassing, they're using candles and lanterns and things,
yes.
then are the police allowed to
Yes.
go in? Okay,
Yes.
that was my question, I thought they should be. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
Good question.
All right, I see we need to go into closed session.
Motion.
Do we have anything from the, before you motion it, anything from the council? Okay, so we have a
Motion
motion.
to close this one, we'll open.
All right.
And, close open.
We have a second?
Yeah.
We need to do a roll call vote.
Aye.
Yes.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for attending. Hope to see you next meeting.